Moving the ball, they were 9th in yards per play, and that's with Phillip Rivers, who is, and I love Phillip, but he's the least athletic quarterback in the league ever since Eli Manning retired. So they couldn't move the pocket, and they were 9th in the NFL in yards per play. And it should also be noted that Jonathan Taylor, the rookie running back, 22-year-old kid, from Wisconsin, he didn't really emerge until post-Thanksgiving. So if you really look post-Thanksgiving, Michael Pittman, the wide receiver from USC, the rookie, again, there's no training camp. There's no exhibition season. Those guys didn't really pop until post-Thanksgiving. So at the end of the year, the Colts felt like, to me, they were a top 5-6 yards per play offense. Now you bring in a quarterback who sometimes, to his demise, likes to move the pocket. So this is going to be a much more viable offense. They won 11 games last year with the least athletic quarterback in the league. Big day for the Colts. They're in the Super Bowl bubble to me. I do think that J.J. Watt is great for the Packers. He may fit the Titans better, their schemes, but Joe Barry's the new Packer defensive coordinator. He's done a 3-4, a 4-3. He's done it. I know Joe. He can do whatever he has to do for his personnel. But the latest story is, and this stuff starts leaking, and I've always had a theory in my business, stuff only leaks when people want it to leak. All right? Like, we don't get stories if you don't leak stories. And that's just the reality of it. If somebody wants it out, I've had stories in my life that I banged on doors forever and they never got out because nobody wants them out. And these stories are leaking because it's now we got a bidding war and J.J. Watt likes it that way. So J.J. Watt's one of the only defensive players, hell, he may be the only one that's got a brand. The way it works in the NBA, defensive players, Rodman was rare. Rodman had a brand. It was crazy town, but it was a brand. Usually rebounders don't have a brand. Defensive players don't have a brand in the NFL. J.J. Watt's got one. There's a reason all these stories. Yesterday, J.J. Watt stoking the fire. Quote, free agency is wild, he says on social media. He just pouring gas on that puppy, and I don't blame him. He's saying, listen, I know I've had injuries. I know I'm older. He wants to get paid. And J.J. Watt's like, listen, I was still a top 7 defensive lineman. I want to get paid. Here's the problem. Green Bay does not get into bidding wars. As I just talked about, some teams are very comfortable with that. Dallas is. Through the years, Philadelphia is. Rams are. Some big city teams, they'll get into these bidding wars. They're okay with it. They trust their scouting department, and they trust their market to make the big move worth it. Indy's not going to do that. Belichick's not going to do that. And Green Bay's not going to do that. So that's the bad news here is J.J. Watt right now is that great high school football player who's got 4 or 5 hats on the table. And he goes on his Instagram for a week, and he's like, man, big decision coming on signing day. I may go to Clemson. I may go to Bama. I may go to Oklahoma. And he's just pouring gas on it, getting everybody revved up. That's what J.J. Watt and his agent and his side are doing. They're just putting enough stuff out there to create a bidding war. Green Bay, they do a lot of things well. They're not getting into bidding wars. So that's not necessarily, to me, a great sign for the Packers. And listen, J.J. Watt has every right to make every penny. I think I would rather play for a winner at this point. He's a lock for the Hall of Fame. He's got nothing but money. I think I'd want to win. But listen, Buffalo's out there, they win. Tennessee wins. Green Bay wins. This may come down to somebody just offers him a bigger deal. And that's okay. I mean, listen, there are times when I criticize guys for signing a deal with Robinson Cano going from the Yankees to the Mariners. You're like, dude, you don't want to play in Seattle. You're going to suck up all their money. They're not going to be able to afford any other good players. That's a mistake. I don't have a problem guy at the end of his career when 4 winning teams, you got Buffalo's a winning team now and Tennessee's a winning team and Green Bay's a winning team. I don't have a problem with the guy taking money then. Winners are winners, right? Alex Curry with the news. No. His quote was on Big Ben. As we sit here today, Ben is a member of the Steelers. Not exactly a big advocate, by the way. That's what Les Snead said exactly a week later. The Steelers have sold their soul a little bit on Big Ben. Let me tell you about Big Ben and the truth. And Pittsburgh has known this since day one. He doesn't commit in the offseason. Jay Glazer jokes, his idea of an offseason workout is beers and a yoga workout once a week. He's never been good with film study, and it's gotten worse over time. He's an average practice player. They run a remedial, unsophisticated audible system. They've catered it to Ben. And also, he struggles with high-profile offensive players. Pittsburgh's a smart organization. They know he should be better at film study. They know he should be more committed in the offseason. They know he's too dramatic when anybody gets a little glare on the offensive side. They sold their soul for Ben, and here's where they are. Trapped. $42 million. If they cut him, they'd pay $23 million on the cap, and he's now bad at the end of the year because he's never committed in the offseason. He was awful in December. He was 1-4, 8 picks. Bad. That's what happens as you age as a quarterback. Breeze didn't have the arm left in December. Ben's bad in December. My wife preaches something all the time, and she's always on this. She's always like, stay current, dress current, social media current, get on Instagram. Just stay current. And Tom Brady's the embodiment of this. He gets on social media, and he's funny. He's relevant. He's good with young teammates. He's adaptable. He's very good with his body. Tom is the embodiment of staying current. His Super Bowl wife probably is part of that equation. She's got to stay current. He stays current. Ben and Favre never did. This is who I am. I'm not moving. I'm not improving. I'm not learning new stuff. And they both age poorly. And I'll say this for Green Bay. Green Bay may drive me nuts sometimes. But even for the smallest NFL market, they never sell their soul. They moved off Favre, and they've already drafted Aaron Rodgers' replacement. They don't romanticize the past. Green Bay never sells their soul. I wish occasionally they'd go for it in free agency. But they've got a soul and a value system, and they never trade it. Pittsburgh, a small market too, sold their soul for Big Ben. They knew he was a crappy practice player. They knew he wasn't committed in the offseason. They know he doesn't put in the film study time. But he was so talented. They appeased him. They placated him. They let him get away with it. And now they're trapped. Green Bay's not trapped. Pittsburgh's trapped. All right. Now, that said, not all good news for Green Bay on the J.J. Watt front. I think you may be noticing this too, but it really jumped out to me this morning. Carson Wentz is now a member of the Colts. Oh, my God, I'm going to be intolerable for the next 2.5 hours. I'm so happy right now. Swear to God. When a player goes to a team I like, I'm just going to be obnoxious, and you're going to have to deal with it for the next 2.5 hours. I'm sorry. Who doesn't love Jersey Mike's? We got free sandwiches. That's free Jersey Mike Sandwich Wednesday on the Herd yesterday. My number 7, turkey provolone. Listen, what's not to love? Convenient, clean pickup stations for app and online orders. Just order through their app, no contact at the door pickup, or no contact at the door delivery. Their authentic bread, baked fresh in every store daily, is what they're all about. Their juice, red wine and vinegar, makes that soft, warm bread so moist. You can taste the freshness. Highest quality meats cut on site every day. Nothing is packaged. It's all about the ingredients, the fresh juice, the fresh lettuce, tomatoes, the meat.